everyone.
Hello. I wasn't expecting you to do that countdown. That was fancy.
Oh yeah, it takes away that 20-second lag. And
True.
people see us right from the beginning then.
Yeah, much better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tarot Times. Let's see who we've got. Oh, Martin was the first one in. Oh, 20 minutes early. And
Wow.
Richard. Hello, Richard. We got Lisa, Jackie Jacaranda. Oh, we got some twat from the Hermit's Cave. We got Selkie, Aquarius Al, Jen's Ballads Tarot, Elizabeth, Lottie, Jamie, Juliet, Nancy, Ness. Oh my god, there's so many people. Brant's here.
Hey.
Maharet, Sue, Elaine. Oh, and the chat's just jumped. Naomi, Ellie. We got Becca in. Okay, I think I've got everyone.
I noticed you didn't call Becca a twat.
Of course not.
Why would I call her a twat?
The first time you ever saw me, you thought I was a twat. It's nice to know that hasn't changed in 4 years.
But you're a lovely twat.
Oh, that's all right then.
You're my twat. What?
Yeah.
You are? Now, come on now. This is supposed to be a family show.
Oh dear, I do it. As you say, now there needs to be somebody else in the chat that does what you do and record that back and play it. You know, I'm going to use that against you next time you show me.
Screenshot that. Screen record for sure.
I've gone red. Oh,
Absolutely
no.
Disgusting.
Oh no. There's
I
only
apologise,
room for
everyone.
one little Simon. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Els, stop.
Stop.
Just stop. Just stop, please.
I don't know.
I'm linking those two sentences together.
No.
And it's doing well.
No.
Jackie, even your mother's blushing.
Oh, well.
Anyway, moving on.
I don't even know what to do now. So, welcome to the Tarot Times. We will be telling you what's coming up in the month of February for mass markets, indie, and Kickstarter, and then we'll be doing a review of the Harmony Tarot.
Yay!
Yeah. So I guess shall we crack on? If I said.
Yeah, we can crack on.
Right. Who's
So-
up first?
It's our Becca first. We're doing mass market first, aren't we?
We are. We're doing mass market, and I have the Colour Your Own Tarot. Now, I was quite interested in this because my sister is an avid colourer of artwork, and I thought about getting her this to do. So it's it says your tarot journey can provide a world of colour. Carry on the richly layered tradition of divination through this mystical 78 card deck. It's got a 96-page instruction book with it, and it outlines the meaning of each card. So you can kind of use this deck if you want to learn the tarot, I guess. This would be a really good way of doing it because you're going to be spending a lot of time on that one image, and then you can, be using the page from the instruction manual to help absorb that into your brain. So I thought that was quite good.
Laurie says that she always goes outside the lines. I'm exactly the same. I just know I'd mess it up because one, I don't have the patience, and two, I don't have the ability to keep within the lines. And when I see your sister Lucy do shading, it's incredible. I would take a leaf and I would just colour it orange, but she blends the orange with yellows and about 4 different shades of orange to get one leaf. And I'm like, the patience that must take.
Well, I mean, I guess even if you chose to do this particular, in quite primary colours or whatever, not anything fancy, because not all tarot decks are, like some of the Marseilles, for instance, are very much like red, green, whatever. You could do that and learn each card as you go. So I thought that was quite an interesting concept.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, someone's pinging. Who's pinging?
It's my phone, but it connects to my laptop because it's all Apple. So I get a text message, even though it's not do not disturb on my phone, it still pings on my laptop. I don't know how to get around that.
So I'm up next with, so we think it's called just the tarot, and then Reconnect with You, a comprehensive introduction to the tarot with an illustrated tarot deck. So it seems like it's going to be quite a comprehensive book that goes with it, which will be interesting. It says, discover the ancient power of the tarot with this beautifully illustrated modern deck, featuring a comprehensive introductory handbook and full 78 card tarot deck. This is the essential companion for those wanting to embark on their spiritual awakening. Fun.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a black and white deck. I'm trying to see. So, is it gonna focus? Yeah, I'm not sure what I make of it, to be honest.
I quite like the card with the butterfly on. I don't know which.
It looks like it's going to be the magician.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I quite like the look of some of the cards, at least.
Yeah, it looks kind of spacey and galaxy themed.
There's not a lot of images to go on, is there, other than them? So for me, it didn't really give me a lot, but they did seem kind of, I don't know, like playing cardish or a bit like the Tower of Loka type of vibe to it. But
oh yeah,
Jen's on it with the links. Yes, thank you, Jen, for providing the links. Okay, so the one I got to review is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and it's by Colette Barron-Reed and Alberto Villodo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I mean, the artwork is beautiful. Normally, when Colette teams up with somebody, she teams up with Jenna Jegradelia. I think is how you pronounce it.
We meant our Jenna.
No, not our Jenna. But I suppose what I do like, I guess, because when I was first looking into this, I was a bit irked because it says use this vibrant channeled oracle, and I thought, oh, here we go. Are we going to have a situation again where Colette Barron-Reed is saying she's spoken to, what was it, Carly before, and Carly said, make me beautiful, and all that kind of controversy. So whenever I hear channeled, I'm always a bit sort of like, ugh. But actually, she's written the book, and the artist, Alberto Villodo, does have, a right to do the images. And I think that's why she's probably, or been advised, probably more likely to work with somebody who is an authority in that area. So it says, use this vibrant channeled oracle to receive spiritual wisdom of the shamanic dream world, seek answers to questions, and journey to manifest your intentions. The dream world has long captivated the collective psyche, which, again, we talk about that a lot in the community, about a collective consciousness and how we access that consciousness. Ancient mystics, religious texts, and even modern psychoanalysis has described the power of dreams. So this is a deck that brings symbolic landscapes, spirit beings that we encounter in this sacred realm. And it's a powerful collaboration between master teachers Alberto Villodo and Colette Baron Reed, bringing together the wisdom of his rich Andean shamanic lineage with her expertise in oracle creation. And I think that's quite deliberate how that's been now put, you know, quite specifically because of past kind of controversies around appropriation and such like. Anyway, it says each card in this deck features imagery from the shamanic dream world of archetypes and symbolic consciousness to accompany in the accompanying guidebook. Alberto and Colette channel the wisdom of the ancient keepers to guide you on your journey to co-create your world and manifest your most precious intentions. And the artwork is nice. It's due out on the 23rd of February. And just as a reminder, the dates that we give you on the Tarot Times are UK dates. So there may be people in the community who's already got this if you're in the US or Canada or other places.
My back is up a bit when you said psychoanalysis. Like, what authority does she have? Who's she been consulting to claim that? I'm very interested in that.
Yeah. I guess it's one of these situations where when such a egregious error was made with one of the oracle decks, particularly like we mentioned the Kali situation, it kind of you lose that little bit of trust then, don't you? You almost scared to buy it because you think, has she done her research? How, you know? So I probably wouldn't get it.
Just to clarify, though, what that sentence actually says is the dream world has long captivated the collective psyche. Ancient mystics, religious texts, and even modern psychoanalysis have described the power of dreams.
Okay.
So they're not claiming to be using psychoanalysis. What they're actually saying is that these are kind of areas that have tried to, to describe how powerful dreams can be. And they're now presenting their take, they're adding to that conversation, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I must admit, my trust in Colette's work, after so many Indigenous people were trying to reach out to her and educate her, she'd just block them, ignore them, say they were hating or whatnot. And then she offered to have the creator of the Circo Tarot in one of her classes or something to get her point of view, because she's an Indigenous artist, but then wouldn't pay her. So she was like, no.
And I know that I've not, in particular, not been able to, I think I gave it away in the end. I'm looking down just to double check with my oracle decks, and it's not there, that goddess oracle after that. I just felt so uncomfortable, not just because, because we can call people out, but her reaction to it made me feel really uncomfortable, so much so I didn't want to keep that deck. But
and despite all that, you can still buy it.
Yes. Because it's still making money.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going on to indie decks, Becca.
Okay, so I have got the Gentle Tarot. Now this I think is really beautiful. So it's an Indigenous made, hand-drawn deck filled with imagery influenced by the artist's remote life in Alaska. She's also donating 10% of the proceeds go to ocean and climate change research, which I thought was great. It's 79 hand-drawn illustrations on 350 GSM matte laminated cardstock with matte gold siding and a 196-page guidebook, both in a thoughtfully crafted 2-part box. I was reading a little bit about her, and she says much of my strength comes from inspiration from our natural environment. And I strongly believe that our mental health is very much influenced by our connection or lack of connection with our ecosystem. So she's really brought all that in, and not only that, she's backing up her beliefs with action in the 10% donation of the proceeds. So I thought that was unusual to see that, actually.
Yeah,
So
I'm
really-
really excited. I backed this deck, and she has to be one of the nicest artists I've ever spoken to, because there was a issue now with the UK, all the Brexit stuff, the postage to us UK people. She did like a miscalculation or whatnot and had to go and ask people, like, you know, please could you give me the extra money? But she was really sweet. She was like, oh, and if you feel uncomfortable, then I'll pay for it. But yeah, she was really lovely. I'm really excited for this
and the
deck.
10% is not just like the initial first sale. She put for each pledge, I will personally contribute to the planting of 2 trees. 10% of total proceeds of present and future sales will be donated to the ocean and climate change research. So
Yeah,
really
and we
admirable.
have an indigenously created deck. No,
Yeah.
that's not. You know, what I mean, that was not. It didn't come
Yeah,
out right.
I know.
But yeah,
Yeah,
which I'm very excited for.
yeah. Indigenous made, it says that right at the top of the when you look at the thing. So I think it's fab. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of my favorite decks. I think I'm really excited
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I think we're all excited for that one. And
Mm.
you know, all that as well, but beautiful artwork, which a lot of people are saying in the chat too. Okay.
So next up, we've got the Dame Darcy Witchy Cat Tarot by Dame Darcy. You can pre-order it now on Etsy, and it's expected in the early spring. It's apparently the cardstock, like the mermaid, is like the Mermaid and Queen Alice tarot decks. It's a borderless deck in a tuck box though, which well, I really love her boxes, but it's based on the classic Rider-Waite Smith deck, hand drawn with pen and ink and hand painted with watercolor. But there's some really cool cards in there that kind of give a nod to the Mermaid Tarot. The Six of Swords was very Mermaid
Very in her
Tarot.
style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unmistakably hers. I showed this image because all the other images that were on Kickstarter were just of single cards, and I didn't want to just put a single card up.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with the tuck box, and also the fact that, I mean, it's not even gilded this time, like the other two are. It just looks like cards in a tuck box. But I'm confused by the cardstock is the same as the Dame Darcy and the Queen Alice when they're very different from each other. So, like, which is it? Because the Queen Alice is buttery and matte and thick and beautiful, and the Queen Alice is very glossy and feels quite sharp to hold. It's completely different cardstock. So, unless they're talking about the early Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, because I've only had the latest one, which is dreamy.
Oh, so that was the card I was talking about that was kind of giving a bit of a nod to the Mermaid Tarot. So they all seem to be like cat-like people, which is fun. And that's going to be one I look out for. So I still don't own one of her decks yet.
And I'll probably get it because I've got her other two, and I love them. I love her art style. It's very quirky. But at first, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, not another cat tarot. You know, we do seem to have a lot of cat tarots, but it's Dame Darcy. So there you go.
Yeah, it's unmistakably her as well, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
if somebody put that card in front of you and you'd say, who was this? Who created this? You would know straight away.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so my indie deck is the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. And yeah, it's by Martino Razzo, and the artist is Miriam E.G. It is pre-order now on Etsy, and it's a storytelling tarot, which I like the idea of, with relatable characters from modern society. So it's a modern story tale, if you like. The suits remain the same, but will be modernized. So some examples: wands, which is creativity, is paintbrushes, pencils, flags, trees. I've got to take the image back down because I was engrossed. Swords, which is communication and thoughts, is personal demons, words, crows, evil eyes. Cups, emotions, relationships, love. Is coffee cups, trophies, and plant pots. And at first I was like, plant pots, wouldn't that be more earthy? But I suppose empty plant pots is still kind of a vessel, isn't it? Pentacles, money, property, opportunities, credit cards, scholarships, and talents. The bit I liked here is that this creator is trying to be representative. So the creator supports the LGBTQ plus community in every way. Cosmic Cycles includes characters that promote our brothers, sisters, and friends, but variety is included with people of color, shapes and sizes, and occupations. Now, how often do we talk about, diversity that we expect and come to expect in terms of protected characteristic types like race, sexual orientation, gender identity, sex, male, females, age, and all that sort of thing, disability or different abilities. But very often, body shapes and sizes is still one that I think we've got a huge area to still improve on. So I'm quite when we talked about what Dex was going to do, and I was like, oh, Cosmic Cycles. I wasn't that sure because I like the artwork, but I've seen that style of artwork quite a few times. But I think I need to put my money where my mouth is and support creators that are at least, trying to make sure that everybody is represented, because we demand it as a community. So then I feel that if we're going to demand it, then I need to support it. So I think it will certainly be one that I'm going to pre-order on Etsy.
Yeah, I'm interested because where it says they support the LGBTQ plus community in every way. I'm very interested what the artist's interpretation of every way is. So yeah, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, I get what you say about the artwork. It reminds me because when I first saw it a little while back, I initially thought it reminded me a lot of the This Might Hurt kind of style. So but it's good to hear it's sort of like a more detailed description of it, and makes it a completely different ball game then, doesn't it?
Yes, I remember they both came out on Kickstarter at the same time, and a lot of people were choosing which one, and a lot of people did go for the This Might Hurt, but then with all the delays of the Cosmic Cycles, I think how long has This Might Hurt been out, and now Cosmics, or what's it called,
coming up to 18 months.
Yeah, so it's quite late, but hopefully it's with all that it's claiming that it represents, hopefully it'll get its time in the sun and people will support it.
People are asking if that's a banana behind you, Al.
It is a beaded banana, not just any old banana, and it's a bag. Oh, with stuff inside. Yeah.
You like your beaded bags, don't you? Do you remember the one you got when you went to Becca?
Oh, you mean this one?
that you cried about because there was a sticky sweet on the inside.
God, do you know what? I thought the world was ending. I had a screaming person running back and forth. Do you remember? We were like, "What's up? What's up?"
I thought she'd been stung by a bee or something. The reaction, she was like crying and screaming. I was like, "What on earth's happened? Has she been stung by a bee?" Or and
There was
a
a sweetie wrapper.
I
It's a
touched it
sweetie
though.
wrapper.
they want a wrapper. It was an actual sweet, chewed sweet.
Oh.
I touched it.
Well, but it was a vintage bag, so you got all aspects of vintage with it.
Oh, the memories. It was funny. Okay, so then we go on to Kickstarter.
Oh, and we're not done with cats yet, I'm afraid.
No,
Simon.
we're not.
Because this next deck is, well, it's created by one of the artists that we've both been loving. She created the Wheel of Fortune tarot and the
Neo Rider.
Neo Rider one, and that is the lovely Ivy. So this is a Marseille though this time. And she says she's proud to introduce a Filet Marseille tarot deck. This makes it the third tarot deck I've created, and it's based on everyone's favourite little furry friends, cats. This cat theme Marseille tarot is a tribute to her cat Bosco, which I thought was really sweet, who passed away last year and was such a smart guy and a unique friend. I know it will be hard to find anything to replace him in my life. So it's a really personal project for her. The packaging and everything on this, I think it's just gorgeous. The boxes are amazing with like gold inlaid. You can either get matte gold foil edges in the emerald deck, which is the top one, or you can get holographic foil edges in the rouge deck, which is at the bottom of the screen there. But really beautiful labor of love, I think, and quite a personal one from Ivy this time. So yeah.
And because I backed the Neo Riders, I'm getting lots of emails from them, and Emma, who works very closely with Ivy, and saying, "Don't forget our deck." And I'm like, oh. Because it's cat, and I don't really know if I want to get more Marseille decks, but it is beautiful, and I want to support Ivy because I think she's amazing. She was the nicest person I've ever dealt with on Kickstarter. When my decks went missing at first, she said, "Don't worry, I'll replace all four," because I'd ordered all four. "You're not going to be without." And then it came the next day, so I was able to say to her, "They've arrived," you know. Well, it's so lovely. And she said these will be out in May, and she was having them printed in China, and the pandemic happened, and she still delivered. You know,
Yeah.
she still delivered within 6 months and got them out in May, despite everything that was going on. So,
and I think if you remember rightly, when we bought the Wheel of Fortune deck, we didn't pay any postage. Do you remember that? And that came from China. So it was free postage. That's right. It was just like, you know, it was so nice to come across the creator of a tarot deck that is not just concerned with getting out the deck and selling it, but she's actually concerned about the people she's selling it to and her customers. So yeah, really nice lady there.
Yeah, she is.
Who's next?
You are, Al.
Oh, with the
Dear Heart.
The Dear Heart Tarot. Okay, so we've got the Dear Heart Tarot by Kristen Chambers. The Kickstarter ends on February 19th and is estimated to be released in April. So the creator says, "I first started drawing tarot cards and tarot-related artwork 5 years ago with the intention and dream of one day creating my own tarot deck. During this, I successfully made 2 oracle decks, Dear Heart Oracle and Deck of Manifestations. Oh, I recognised the artwork. I feel, Finally, in 2021, I've completed all 79 designs needed for a deck. The deck features gorgeous mystical imagery and lush bright colours. I really recognise. So, Dear Heart Oracle and Deck of Manifestations. Let's look that up.
Pop them up again so we can have a quick look. Beautiful colours.
Yeah.
They are gorgeous.
I bet you're attracted to them, Becca. They seem like something you'd
yeah.
like.
I like the colours, but the artwork doesn't initially grab me, to be honest. But I do like those vibrant colours every time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the final Kickstarter deck is the one I've got, and it's the lovely Tarot. And I'm really interested in this because I love anything to do with the kind of Indian influence, the Hindu kind of pantheon, and the artwork just looks really, really beautiful. It's got these soft, almost like what do you call it? What was like chalks, like you see on street artists do on pavements.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
like pastel.
Yeah, so it's by Darshani Saku and it ends on the 14th of February. The estimated completion is only the 21st of July, so that's, again, a really quick turnaround. It's a complete 78 original watercolor deck with a mini guidebook. It features gods and goddesses from the Hindu pantheon and mystical beings from the many dimensions that intersect our reality. The cards are designed to help you access your intuition and explore different perspectives, communicate with your subconscious, and bring in the wisdom of your higher self. The yogis say that a spiritual seeker is like a tree whose roots are nourished by the light of the soul and whose branches bear fruit of the world. I like that. The cards are printed on 350 GSM cardstock and they have a matte varnish. And I'm really glad they've described that because I often say, well, these are matte, but they've got like a silky feel. Well, it's actually called matte varnish. The booklet is just 40 pages, but it comes in a custom clamshell style box and is printed in full colour. So I'll just flash up those images again. Really beautiful. I love that chariot card, which is, middle row, far right. I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, and the hermit looks amazing.
That's way more up my alley than the one that Elle just showed.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer those like nice. It's still vibrant though, but beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, Laurie says, right up your alley, Simon. Yeah, it is. It's every time I do tarot times, I'm like, there's so many we want, but
I know.
Yeah, so that's our review. So we did 3 mass, 3 indie, and 3 Kickstarter, 1 each. So next, then we go on to a bit of tarot news. Don't know who wants to cover. I'll cover one if you like. So we was talking earlier. Little Red Tarot is taking a break. So it starts tomorrow for 6, maybe 7 weeks. Little Red Tarot will be shut from tomorrow. Beth is taking a sabbatical and going on a trip. So, and as she says on her website, she's not had a holiday like that at all for, I think, 4 years. So, yeah, so just so people are aware, Little Red Tarot will be closed from tomorrow for at least 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And Elle, was it you wanted to mention about the kind of Brexit tax situation?
Oh, just that a lot of tarot creators aren't shipping to the UK anymore, or shipping's gone up quite a lot. There's been a few Kickstarters where they've sort of said, okay, all the UK people who've backed us, sorry, can you unback it, bugger off? Well, they didn't obviously say it like that, but yeah, so I guess UK folks, oh no.
Yeah.
Where we're
We
going
get-
to get our tax.
It will get sorted, though. I honestly think it will. You know, it's like anything. When something new happens, everybody freaks out and starts to panic. And then when, you know, you kind of ease into it, and it will. I think, honestly think, like, I think, was it Patrick Valenza is not shipping to the UK? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Which is a big one for a lot of Patrick fans, but I'm sure it will get sorted.
It will. It's like anything, isn't it? You know, there's that blip, that period of adjustment while things get settled out. But this is where we this is where we call on our tarot friends in the States as well. Just because there's nothing wrong with domestic posting. So it's around business taxes that's the issue. So I'm sure, you know, and we would do it if it was reversed. I'm sure there'll be our American deck mules that will help us out if we really do get stuck. But I think you're right, Becca, it's temporary, and we just kind of need to ride it out. But if there's a deck that's only going to be out for a limited period of time, then please.
yeah, that'll be when we start sweating a bit, but I'm sure it won't last long.
Yeah, and as Mulamir said, yes, that is the issue. It's about the tax, the value-added tax, VAT. So,
Okay.
I want to be a mule, says Laurie. So that's our tarot news. And now it's the review of the Harmony Tarot, which we're bang on time. Oh, no, a little bit over, but we're all right. So, yeah, the Harmony Tarot. I had mine later than both of you, didn't I?
You did.
Because it was sitting at the post office and I didn't get a notification it had even been delivered. So they were going on about the Harmony Tarot, and I was like, I've not had mine yet. Checked my order and it said delivered like 5 days ago. So I rushed off to the post office and collected it. But yeah, so we normally start off, don't we, with our favourite cards and our least favourite cards. Who wants to go first?
I don't mind because I've been like first on the thingy. Now, I mean, I love this artwork, is right up my alley. So I've got a few little bits here. I love the color palette of the pips. So I've got those few examples of the pip cards. They're very like pastel-y colors. I think the knights in this deck too, the swords for the knights are gorgeous, but I've got a few of the majors that I like. The goldfinch, I love the goldfinch with the third eye. I think that's gorgeous. I love this card as well because this is my dream home. Even though it's called the Empty Cottage, I thought, oh, that's empty because I'm going in that. I really like that. That would be where I want to live. So I liked that. The other cards which I really like I like the fairy ring, which I thought was pretty. The dusk card, which I thought was nice too. And the orchard card, because it's just reminds me of a nice summer's English day. So yeah, so those are quite a few of my favourites.
Oh, is it my turn?
Look at that face. God, you've
God,
got a
that
treat
looks really-
there, both.
I promise you were. I was listening. You were very enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, am I up?
You're up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I found this one a bit difficult because this deck. Okay, so I love the artwork. I like the so normally okay, so I like the artwork, but I'm gonna go with they aren't particularly my favorite, but just I knew what they meant and I knew what they were on about, and they were, I recognized them, whereas because the majors, they're all renamed, they're just, some of them really threw me off in a reading. So I really love the artwork of the majors, for example, but it just frustrated me that I'd then look at the book and it'd mean something completely different. So then it made me not like it. So I'm gonna play it safe and go with, I like these. And I wasn't a fan of the pips either, because they're kind of just a progression of a flower growing, but then that's great for other readers who are really into reading numerologically, and the same with the quartz. They're all pretty similar, and you can kind of attach your own meaning. So it's like a scenic pip deck. This deck threw me off. That's my thing.
Yeah. So I'll show my favourites first. So I like the Lighthouse. Like Becca, I think the artwork is beautiful. Dusk, I love that, with the open door, looking out as the sun sets. I love it, and the little cat on the porch. I also like the empty cottage, that little cottage in the woods. I liked the ghost card, and then I liked the orchard. I thought the orchard was really nice. I don't like the miners. I just, seeing a flower progress, it's the same card, the same sun in the sky, but just seeing it progress, it doesn't really do anything for me. And I know you could argue, well, isn't that what Marseille is? Just a progression of swords, etc. And it is. But for me, I'm just not sure what this deck was trying to be, because whereas I said, the majors have been renamed, and I'll put us all back on for a second, where it said the majors have all been renamed, they don't follow a system that we're used to. It's something of its own.
Yeah.
So, there's no numbers on them. So when if I'm shuffling this deck and I pull, there is the lovers, for example, but if I pull Grace, it hasn't got a number, so it doesn't correlate, and then you've got the well. So for me, it felt a bit like it's an oracle deck with pips and courts. But there are other tarot decks out there that don't follow RWS, Marseille, or Thoth. Something like Dreams of Gaia, for example. They can be their own thing. I'm not knocking that. I can't correlate them to anything. Yeah. And with not having numbers, to me, just having something that says the well is what I'd expect from an oracle deck. So it feels like it's 22 oracle cards with elements added to it of just, what I showed earlier, or we've got our winter and stuff like that. But
I think if you're planning on picking up this deck and thinking you're just unboxing a Rider-Waite based tarot deck, then you can't pick this up and read it with the RWS meanings, because that's not what it is. That's not what it was made to be. and she does indicate in there also that you can, it's meant to be read very intuitively as well. So I think in one way you've got the structure of the pips and the quartz, but you've also got that freedom with the majors to use your intuition there. The other thing is, I think she's been really influenced by the only deck that she ever used for years was a grandmother's deck, which was the 1JJ Swiss. So I think if you've used a pip deck all your life, really, then that's very much comes out in this, I think. And
we've got some, and it's great hearing everybody's views. Some people are saying, yeah, it works more as an oracle. Others are saying, yes, it's a hybrid. Martin says, yes, it's a hybrid. You can hardly call the majors in this deck archetypes, which is, I suppose, something that the tarot is, and she's calling it a tarot. Sorry, Al, you were going to say?
Oh no, that was my issue with it, because normally I really like a deck that's of itself gives me a totally new tarot experience. Like we did the Witch's Wisdom, and that was a really cool experience. But with these majors, I didn't feel they were so a lot of them were very wishy-washy, in my opinion, in how they've been described, or a lot of them could mean the same as another one. I didn't feel they were distinct enough in of themselves as an archetype a lot of the time. So when I was doing readings, I couldn't keep in the zone, because I was constantly having to I was getting a bit frustrated. Like I would be reading and I'd say, oh, I didn't think it was like that, and then the meanings would be something completely different to what I would assume, and yeah, I didn't know how to navigate it. Whereas normally I really enjoy having a new tarot experience, so I'm kind of surprised by my reaction of this deck. But yeah, I think the majors for me just weren't distinct enough.
And there is the sun, the moon, and the star, and the lovers, but they don't. Well, I was going to say they don't appear in order, but they're not numbered, so it doesn't matter once it's shuffled. But as you was going through the deck, I was like, okay, so why does the cliff follow the fairy ring, and that sort of thing? Because when I saw the cliff, if I was pulling this card and I see the cliff, I'd see that kind of as a full card.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I suppose if we now go into the 10-point review, we'll explore each element of it, won't we, and break it down.
Yeah.
So the first one is packaging. Oh, sorry. Laurie says, how expensive is it? I paid £12 for it, so it wasn't expensive at all.
Very inexpensive. Should
Yeah.
I go? We're going round same order.
Yeah.
Packaging, very, very simple. It's just a 2-part box. It did have a cardboard insert in the middle, which was a bit on the flimsy side. So I just took mine out, but it still stores, without the cardboard insert, it still stores the card and book really nicely side by side. You're only paying £12 for it. The box is sturdy. Love the purple colour, and the reef around it is almost sort of like very, very slightly gilded. Nice box for me, I think.
Elle?
Yeah, I really like how it all looks when you open it together. Of course, now it's not going to do it and lay flat, but yeah, for £12. Oh, now it has. I think it's really pretty. Box is really nice. It feels like smooth and whatnot. Yeah, I'd give it give it a 3.5. I think it's good.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't give it a score, did I?
No.
I was going to give this a 7 for
So out
packaging.
of 5. Out of 5, Becca.
Oh, was it? Shit. I was going to give it a 5 then. That's right. Because I love all this round the artwork round the box is gorgeous, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's a 2-part box. I didn't like the inside with the flimsy bit of cardboard, but I get why they did it because they wanted the book to be at the same level as the cards. But the book is, well, we'll come on to the book, but it's quite basic. It does the job. 3 out of 5. And then book.
The book it's a chunky little book. Even though it's small, it's chunky. You've got the usual things. You've got the introduction, which is quite interesting to read about Harmony herself. The actual card meanings you do get. So, for instance, with the crow here, you get that and that for the crow. So, there's quite a bit of detail of what the card represents. Nice feeling book. I've got no problems with this book. I thought it was better than your average sort of little white book. So I would give the book 4 out of 5.
Yeah, like for what it is, a little white book, I was quite surprised that it's got like quite a long introduction and how to use the deck, a couple of spreads, a bit about Harmony, and then at the back it's got some resources that she recommends are used. Even has some charities for mental health and well-being, which I thought was a nice addition. Because I think Ness has said there as well, bear in mind the creator's past. I think that's why it feels more of a deck for emotional support, because Harmony talks about her journey with the tarot and about her struggles with mental health. She says, I've suffered from periods of depression and since the age of 16 due to severe anxiety and dissociation. So I think that was really cool to add that into the book as well. And but then again, it is just a little white book, and the actual card meanings itself, it didn't quite do it for me. So I guess a 3.
Yeah, for me, I think because we had a conversation earlier with this deck being so unique, we need the book particularly to start off with. And I liked all the bits that you talked about, all the extra stuff, which, a huge chunk of it is the extra stuff. We get to page 49 before we start to even look at, the Harmony Tarot meanings. But it didn't go into enough for me to link it across, or why she chose the images, why she chose. You know what I mean? She doesn't explain, or she's got the opportunity with the book to kind of explain why she chose that as a major arcana card, and she doesn't. And even at the beginning where she talks about her deck, she explains, it's on page 6, about this tarot deck. She talks a little bit about her channel and her journey and why she created the deck to represent her journey, but not why she made the radical change. So I would like to a bit more around that, because as we said, working with a completely new system, you're going to rely on a book quite heavily at the beginning. So as a little book, it's okay, but because this system is so unique, I felt that I would need more from the book to help me with my understanding. And also, I think what I found when using this deck was this is her personal journey and she's sharing it, and I'm grateful, and more people should share their journeys, but it's going to be different to ours. So, and I think you picked up on that, Elle. If you pick a particular card and your life state is the state that it's in, and you see something in that, that's great. But then relying on the book takes you to a different place because that's her journey. So I had those kind of thoughts as well. But
I think if you use your intuition though as well, because then it becomes your journey.
well, you'd have to, yeah, you'd have
Yeah.
to, but because we're talking about the book on its own. That was the reasons why I gave it a 2 out of 5, because I would have wanted a little bit more from the book.
Yeah.
Presentation.
I mean, I think it's presented beautifully, box wise. I think that the whole thing, the artwork on the box and the choice of color, I think for this, instantly you get like a calming kind of vibe, I think, from the box. It kind of gives you a little hint of what you're going to see when you get inside. So I thought the presentation was lovely. I really did.
Sorry, it might have been me and how I said it, and if I said it wrong, I apologise. It's representation.
Oh, I thought you meant, yeah, right, okay.
It was probably me. Hearing it back, I thought, did I say presentation?
You said presentation, and I thought at the time, I thought, is that on our list? But I thought I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, representation. Right. So there are cards with different skin tones, like this one. Now, because there's not actually a huge amount of people in the deck, really, and they're quite, what's the word? I don't know. They're not like very not human-like figures. I don't, the backs of people very much, rather than faces. You don't see faces in this because it's either the back or they're holding up a bunch of flowers. So, I mean, she's used different skin tones in there, and from what I gather, these images like this are images of Harmony herself, because the tattoos, Harmony's tattoos. So, these images that you see are representations of her, and she is a red-headed white woman. So, but where she has been able to use different skin tones, she has used different skin tones. So from that point of view, where there is opportunity, she has used it. But obviously she can't, for some of the cards change. And that, you can't really tell the body type from some of them. When they're sat down, you can't really tell. So I don't know, looking at the deck, how she would have done it differently with with the way that it is, being mostly plants and kind of representations of herself. So I'm just going to give it a 3, I think, because she has used different skin tones, but there isn't body types or sexuality in this deck. But I don't know how that would be included in a deck like this, really.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
So it's not great, I'm not gonna lie. And there's a few black people, there's a few brown people in the way of skin color diversity, and it's cool that there's tattooed people in this deck. You don't see that a lot, but it's lacking. I feel even the black folk that are represented, I feel still look a few of them. Although I can't. I'm trying to find one, but they're still kind of very European in their features. I don't see the textured hair. I don't see that. Yeah, I would really love it. It just seems a bit like surface level to me. I personally do feel like she could have done a lot more, and I know you're kind of saying that you wasn't sure about other ways, but I mean, like, just there's so many decks that just naturally do it, like Next World Tarot, Numinous Tarot. There, I mean, I know it is a planty deck, but where she did show people, she did have opportunity that I feel like she missed, because there's no age diversity or body diversity. To me it lacks. I'd give it a 1.5, to be honest.
Yeah, so I mean, out of all the majors, there is one person of colour, which is the one I held up, which was the Divine. And as Becca said, there are some skin tones in court cards, but overall, there's not a lot really on the whole. It gives a vibe for me of a really young person's deck as well. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. You know, they need to exist. We have young people who want to, read tarot, and that's important. But it does feel, very much like a young person. And everybody that I do see, with the exception of that one Becca showed where someone was sitting down, they do all seem, quite slim and beautiful, and yeah, it's very female centric as well. But Melissa made a comment about it being quite egocentric, from it being from Harmony's viewpoint and representing herself in the tarot as well. But that's what she's done, and she makes no bones about that. She said this is about her journey through it with her mental health as well. But
I wouldn't call that egocentric. I mean, that's a bit.
I think that's about putting herself into the tarot deck.
There's quite a few decks though where the actual author has, and I can't think of them, but they actually appear in the tarot deck. There's a few that I know of.
Really?
I guess I'm thinking of it as in terms of an insult of someone being egotistical. But yeah, I guess it is egocentric. If someone, that's just a neutral term of someone being in their deck, I guess, isn't it? So yeah, on that grounds, I wouldn't necessarily call it a negative. But
yeah, Dan said Bone Stone is one where Avalon puts herself as an additional card in the deck. But yeah. Okay, I'm just really conscious of the time as well. But art style?
I love it. I love the art style. It's right up my alley. I just love these very summery images, and the colours. I think the colours are gorgeous. So yeah, art style, I'm going to give it a 5 because I really like it.
Yeah, art style is really pretty. Give it a 4. It's pretty.
Yeah, for me, I give it a 4 too. I give it the highest score because for me, it's the nicest thing about the deck is the art. I think the art is quite beautiful. So 4 for me. Readability.
I didn't have any trouble with it. I didn't pick it up and do my first reading with it and think instantly RWS. I just didn't. I took my brain out of RWS and into the Harmony Tarot. And for me, it gave some really lovely readings. I just used the numerology for the pips, and I used my intuition for the courts and the majors, and it read really nice. I thought it was lovely. I had no trouble with it. So I mean, I gave it give it a 5 for reading. I had some really nice, particularly at a time that has been really stressful for me. This deck kind of arrived at the right time, because it gave some really gentle, nurturing readings for me. So I'm going to give it a 5 for readability. I just went with the flow with it. I didn't use it as anything other than its unique thing.
You sound like you're justifying it, Becky. You don't need to justify it. Honestly, we're all
No,
unique.
I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining how it read for me. I'm not kind of saying that's why I love it. I don't need to justify it. It read really nice for me. It really did. So 5 for readability for me.
I'm the complete opposite. I'd probably give it a because I think it threw me off that some of the picture or some of the images in the majors stick to RWS. Some of them, they look more like something else, and then it turns out I read the book and now it's something different. The book, if you were then to go to the book, for me it wasn't detailed enough, or the cards weren't distinct enough from themselves. So readability for me, 1. I just didn't get on with it.
Yeah. So readability for me, I really struggled, because I would with any Oracle deck. I use Oracle decks as clarifier cards and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily do a spread with an Oracle deck, but when I did a reading with it, I think I got the Kingfisher, not the Kingfisher. What was that bird that's in the
Goldfinch.
The goldfinch. I think I got the orchard, and then I got like a card like that, and I was like, okay, so what's that? I know it's the 4, but of what? I can't remember what season it is, and so I have to rely on the book. And then when I read the meanings, I found it quite challenging to read with, but that may be because I'm used to the system and structure that I'm used to. So yeah, I didn't find it easy, so I give it a 1 for readability too. Individuality and uniqueness.
Well, you can't say it's not unique in its structure. It's pretty unique as far as that is concerned, the way it's laid out and everything. So yeah, I'm going to give it like a 3 for uniqueness, I think.
Yeah.
I think after reading that, I started reading the book before I looked at the deck, and it said about how she uses tarot for her mental health, and talks about depression, anxiety, and disassociation, which is something I live with. So I think maybe I unfairly put a lot on this deck, because I was excited to hear someone talk about that and how they would then make a tarot that's really suited to them in that way. It just didn't at all for me. I couldn't personally relate or use it in that way with my mental health. But I guess I've created my own distinct way of using the tarot for my mental health. But then again, I will say there was another deck that was specifically made from someone's experience of having an eating disorder, and I too have had an eating disorder, and I really they completely changed the majors as well, but I really took to that deck. I really saw my struggles within it, and I really gravitated towards it. So it's really interesting to me that I've kind of they're both very unique, but this one I just didn't like the uniqueness, or like it just really didn't fit me. So it's unique, but just not. I don't know how to score it. I mean, it is unique. It's just not my. I don't know. I guess it's unique, so 4. But it's just, it doesn't suit me at all.
Yeah, I get it. It's absolutely unique. You know, it can't be knocked for that. It's individual and it's unique. So much so, case in point, Jack is asking, can you please show the hanged man? There is no hanged man. You know,
It's
I
not
can
an
show you
art-
what's card number
not an art.
12.
But
You know-
it's not. You're not going to be able to show the same, you know, like for like.
there's no, we have for the majors, we have like mirror. We do have the moon and the sun and the stars and stuff like that. Then we have crow, grace, the well, the fairy ring.
The ghost is number 12, so
ghost, yeah, but that's nothing to do with the hangman. So it doesn't correlate with Marseille,
No.
RWS, or Thoth, where you would have, and that's what we're saying as a tarot. And the archetypes that we're used to, you rip it up and you have this and you work with this. So for me, it works better as an oracle with pips because of how they are. But so, okay. In terms of uniqueness, it is unique. So I'll give it a 4 for uniqueness. Cardstock.
Cardstock is really nice. It's matte. It's got that lovely silky kind of buttery feel to it. It's not there's no very little sheen on it. I really like it. Shuffles well as well. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. So I'm going to give it 5 for a cardstock because I really like it.
yeah, I really like the cardstock. It reminds me of the new Roots and Wings, now that it's not rose petal, in terms of its both thickness and the kind of feel of it. Yeah, I really like it. It's thick, riffles like a dream. I'd give it a 4. I don't know how it edges or anything, but I'd give it a 4. I think it's great.
Yeah, I give it a 3. I like it. I love this feel. I love matte cardstock, and it feels really nice. But I did think it was a little bit too thin compared with some of the matte cardstock of this kind of feel. It's really, really bendy, and I just thought it might damage quite easily. And then when I compared the whole deck's thickness, it's not a hugely thick deck. But you know, if you riffle shuffle, I think it'll be great for that because of its flexibility. So, yeah, I give it a 3 for cardstock. The backs.
I love these. I love the colour. I love the colour of the backs. I love the pentacle in the middle. I like the tattoos on the hands, and you've got all the kind of suits represented on the back. You've got the heather, the rose, the bluebell. Yeah, really pretty colour. Love it. Really love the backs. 5 for the backs.
Yeah, the backs are really pretty. They're busy, but because of the colour palette, they're not. Then they don't distract. They're kind of muted enough. Yeah, I'll give it a 4. It's nice and no copyright in sight, which is nice.
I feel really mean. I give it a 2. I think I prefer darker backs or ones that have like small patterns and things because it is quite busy. And it's not just because it's pink. I don't mind pink at all. Quite like pink. But yeah, I just thought they were a bit meh. I do like the pentacle in the middle with the all-seeing eye in the center, but they're not reversible. But that doesn't make a difference to me because I don't read reversals. But I know it's a deal breaker for some people. But Yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed by the bats, so I gave it a 2. Value for money, price point.
Well, excellent value for money. You can't really knock it, considering the, the box is really nicely packaged. The card stock is good. The book you get is not too stingy with size. So I think if you're on a tight budget, it's excellent value for money. So, for 12 quid, I'm going to give it a 5 for value for money.
Yeah, for how good the packaging and cardstock is for 12 quid, I was really pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it's good value for money. I guess that I'm thinking about in terms of I can't personally use it. So is that value for money if I've bought a deck that I can't use? But that's just it is, you can use it. I'm just being a brat. But I give it a 4. I mean, for 12 quid, can't go wrong.
Same. I paid £13 something and got a refund when it was dispatched saying it actually went lower during the time you'd backed it. So here's a bit of money back. So I actually paid £12 something for it at the end. A tarot deck for £12, even if I'm giving it away, it's fine. So 4 from me. And then the overall wow factor is the 10th category. Overall wow factor. Should we just quickly say a number?
Yeah, for me, I really loved it right off the bat. So I was really pleased with it. So for me, I'm going to give it a 5 because I thought when it came and I thought, oh wow, I really, really like this. So it had a big wow factor for me. 5.
I think I'm being really mean, but I'm gonna say a 1. I think I was just so excited by Harmony's experience with the tarot. I was excited to hear how she uses it and utilizes it, and what she would then do, how she would then create a deck to kind of correspond with that, and it let me down. I was expecting something that was a lot more fleshed out, and yeah, I give it a 1. Just didn't tickle my pickle.
And just to show I'm not just saying it, I give it a 1 as well. I'll never use it. I've used it this week for the purpose of today's review, so I could say I have worked with it. And maybe I'm just too set in my ways, but I like my tarot to have a certain structure and follow a system. And I'm not quite sure what it's trying to be. As I said, to me, it feels very oracle. It feels like 2 systems pushed together, and I feel that the pips could have been done better than having just the same background and a different flower adding on. And I don't get anything from it. And when I read the cards for my spread, I was kind of So yeah, for wow factor, I wasn't wowed at all. I felt really disappointed by it, but I paid £12, so it's no loss. Do you know what I mean? But my wow factor is a 1 as well. So taking all that into account, all those 10 points, we can now score it out of 10. And we agree collectively that anything 5 or below means we put it into a giveaway for the next month. So when you're ready.
Oh, you two ready? Is it just me?
I'm ready.
Is this out of 10?
Out of 10. 4 out of 10. Simon Cowell's on the panel today.
Ready.
Yeah, ready. Scores on the doors. 5 to 8. So it gets 15 out of 30. collectively between us. So, yeah. Which means my Harmony Tarot will be going up for a giveaway next month. And Els, are you happy to give yours away?
I've got spilt some paint on it,
Oh,
so I don't think anyone would want mine.
Do you want to show the card and give people the option?
Okay, so if I do that, can you see there's like maybe 2 cards with
Very
paint,
minute.
so maybe I could say, yeah, I'll give mine away, but if you just put in the comments, not Els, if you don't want mine, if you wouldn't mind winning one that has some pink paint on it.
Yeah.
Then
Well, what we could do is...
But I don't forget that I ended up with two copies by mistake.
Yes.
And when I contacted them, I said that you sent me 2 copies, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about it, keep it." So I've actually got a brand new boxed Harmony Tarot to give away without losing my own. So
what we could do next month is we could pull a name and then give away, and then a second name give away. And then if we pull the third name, you get the choice of whether you want a damaged, it's hardly damaged, if you want an imperfect deck or not.
Well, seeing as it's only 12 quid, should I just buy I don't mind buying someone.
That's up to you, but I'm sure people would be happy. I mean, there's 2
I could just
in a way, anyway.
it would make more sense. Like I could just Amazon it to someone rather than faff around with postage and whatnot. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Okay. All right then. So first time ever on Tarot Times, 3 giveaways. It's not that we're all don't like the decks, we're giving them away. Becca's got a spare one. But this is like the Hush Tarot again, isn't it? Where me and Al really hated it and Becca loved it. But that's what's great about doing Tarot Times, because it's 3 different opinions.
Poor Becca. Her beloved deck got a right battering.
I know, but I mean, the other thing which we didn't mention, this lass is she's 21 years old.
Yeah.
So she's, that is going to reflect in her style, everything, isn't it, as well? So she's only a young'un to take all this on.
People are saying, Elle, as well, they would take your deck with the damage.
Oh.
Elizabeth saying, no, Elle, I would take your deck, more value of the deck. And Ellie's saying, Elle's deck is special. And Mulamia, someone wouldn't mind. So totally up to you, but you don't have to buy a new deck. There'll always be somebody who's happy to take it.
Maybe so whoever I pull the name for, if I give them the choice, you can have mine or I'll buy you a new one.
Yeah, that sounds fair, doesn't it? All right, so next Tarot Times is Saturday the 4th of March 2021, so 4 weeks today, because February has 28 days. Usual time, 6 p.m. Just wanted to say thank you to Sandra as well for doing the research and sending the information over to us. Thank you to everybody that's been here. Al, being as your top and tail end, do you want to finish off?
Oh, wow. And thanks to Jen's Balanced Tarot for the links.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen.
Did you want to say something, Becca? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I just said thank you, Jen. I said
Oh, well, then I guess thanks for joining us, guys. I will see you next time.
6th of March, yeah. Did I say? Oh, it's up there, 4th. Yeah, it's the 6th. Sorry, 6th. Oh, I don't know. Can't get the
staff.
Goodness. At least you're not self-advertising anymore. Where's the thing?
True.
What do you mean? Oh, yes. All right.
Not Simon instead of the Hermit's Cave.
There you go. Saturday the 6th of March, everybody. All right.
Try that again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.